Hey guys, um, welcome back to the channel. For those who have been watching the other videos, it's good that you come to this channel and get what we share with you guys. Today, we are going to talk about a certain topic that is not usually talked about. Actually, this topic, people are usually discouraged not to talk about it. But today we are going to talk about it just to share the knowledge with you guys so you get to understand and know about this. We are going to talk about the serpent spirit. It is commonly known by the Zulu name of Inkanyamba. Yes, Inkanyamba. It does have other names in other languages, but it is commonly called Inkanyamba. So we are going to talk about that. So if you are new to this channel, please follow it and share it. Also activate the notifications. And you can also check the other videos like Kufemba, African exorcism, so you get to know about it. We will be posting more videos going forward, so you can activate the notifications to be notified when a new video is posted. So, this serpent spirit, Inkanyamba, what is it? It's in two forms actually. It's in both physical and in a spirit form. So it's in both physical form and in a spiritual form. It's one thing, just that you know, like as you know about everything spiritual, spiritual things do manifest into physical bodies. So the spirit manifests into physical bodies so that it can have the physical representation. So this spirit manifests in a physical body in a form of a snake. I'm sure you have heard a lot of stories about Inkanyamba. A lot of stories that we have heard. Most of them are true. But I'm not sure as to how many stories you have heard. But most of them are true. So this physical body of the serpent spirit, it happens to be a snake that stays in rivers and waterfalls. So it's a water spirit. That is why this snake is found in water bodies. So this snake, it is also able to change shapes. It does not only live in that form of being a snake always, as it is a snake. Yes, it is a snake, but it has the ability to change shapes. So it can change into many things. So like in English, most people will say it's a shape shifter. Yes. Most of you might have seen it, but you don't know that you have seen it because it came in another form. And you would have expected to see it in the snake form, in a very big, giant snake form. So it's very secretive. It does not really reveal itself to so many people. That is why even if it reveals itself to people, it changes the shape and comes in another shape that you won't expect that, oh, that is the Inkanyamba. because you are going to talk about it, you are going to tell everyone about it, and you might even get scared. So if you are a person who frequent rivers or waterfalls, chances are it came to you, but you just didn't see. Maybe it turned into a form of a human being. It turned into a person, and it came to you, it greeted you, it talked to you, it might have even asked for help from you, and you thought it's a person. You see, like when you are in a river, and then all of a sudden, there comes a person that you don't know, comes and talk to you and all of that, and the person leaves. In most cases, you find that it was this Inkanyamba in a form of a person. It can even come to you in another form. It can take any form. It can even turn into a stone. And then you are there at the river bank, you are sitting on a stone, while that stone is the real Inkanyamba, just turned into a stone. Or it turned into a wood that you sit on. And sometimes when you come back later, few days later, that stone is no longer there, or that wood is no longer there. Sometimes you can see it as bones, looking like it's an old animal that died and rotten. Some days when you come back, the bones are no longer there. So it was not actually the bones, it was it shape-shifting. So it can turn into any shape, it can turn into anything. It has that ability. It's not always in a snake form. Yes, it's a giant, a very big snake, but it can also make itself to be a small snake. So you can see a small snake near the river or near the water or in the water. And when you see a small snake, you think, it's just a small snake. But in reality, you find that it is the real Inkanyamba. It just made itself to be a small snake so that you don't get scared and you don't go around talking about it. So about the things that you have heard about it causing tornadoes or causing strong winds, strong weather, strong rain, strong lightnings. Yes, it's true. It has the ability to do that. So when it moves in a physical form, it does not want to be seen. So it creates all those things so that it can hide itself. It cannot be seen. And because it's the creature of a powerful nature, it has the powers to do all of that. So when it moves from another river to another river, or from another place to another place, it will often move in a form of a storm or just a wind, strong wind and strong weather. So that is how it moves. Sometimes it moves to meet another Inkanyamba for mating reasons. Sometimes it moves because it wants to change the place where it was staying into a new place. Sometimes it moves because it has been angered. So, but if it is not angered, it will move in that state of weather, but not destroying or causing havoc because it is just naturally moving. But when it is angry, it usually creates a very strong wind, strong weather where it destroys places. But in most cases, it will just move in peace without destroying anything. So it will move from water to another water. So if you might have also heard that if you have houses that have a roofing of the corrugated ions, that shiny corrugated ions, you might have heard that when it moves, it will destroy those places. In reality, it's not that it wants to destroy those places. is because from a distance, the shining nature of the corrugated irons that people use to roof their houses, from a distance, it will look like it's water. So because it wants to land on water, it will approach that area. And because it's moving with the very strong winds, those places get affected. So it was not like the aim was to destroy those places. So if it is angered, that is where it will create a strong weather, the tornadoes, the cyclones to move around, and the places may get damaged. It may cause a real damage when it is moving and being angry. So that is true. It happens. So it has the powers to do many things. So that is the physical nature of it, the physical representation of it. Then we also have the spiritual side of it. Yes, we do have the spiritual side of it. And then there are people who possess this spirit. There are three ways in which a person can get this spirit or can get to work with this spirit. Number one, you can be born with it. Like when you are born with other spirits, like Ndao spirit, Nzuzu spirit, and the other spirit. You can be born with it. So it chose you from birth, but it doesn't do that alone. Your ancestors and this spirit decide who can have it. So if your ancestors chose you that you must have this Inkanyamba spirit, then you are going to have it from birth. You will be born with it naturally. Number two, we have people who can inherit it. Yes, it can be inherited. So if in the past, so this spirit, there is the ability that you can make a deal with it. So if you are not born with it, you can actually make a deal with it so that you can work with it. It can help you. So many people do make deals with this spirit. It can be a prophet or a healer who wanted to enhance their powers of being a healer and of being a prophet. So there are ways that traditional healers can help you to make a deal with this spirit. You can make the sacrifice, the animal sacrifices, and then reach an agreement with it that you are going to work together. So once someone makes a deal, that spirit is part of your family. So if one of your ancestors made a deal with it long time back, you will still inherit it even now. So anything that you get from that ancestor, you also inherit this serpent spirit. So number two is getting it by inheritance. Number three is actually making a deal with it yourself. You see? So meaning, if in your family there was no one who made a deal with it, you can be the first one to make a deal with it. So anyone actually can have this spirit. Anyone can work with this spirit if you want. So if you are not born with it and you did not inherit it from your ancestor, then you can personally make a deal with it so that it works with you. You work together. It helps you in many ways. So this spirit is a spirit of power. It's a spirit of wealth. It's a spirit of many abilities. So the people who make deals with it, it's because they want wealth And once you start to work with it, yes, it will bring you wealth, a lot of wealth. And it will bring you protection. It's very protective. You will be so protected if you are working with it. And you will have powers. If you are a healer, you are going to be one of those strongest healers or strongest prophets. So you will be powerful, well protected, well provided for, and given lots of spiritual abilities. So the way to initiate it, it's not really difficult, it's not really complicated. Many healers know how to initiate it. You can go to a healer who knows how to initiate it if you were born with it. If you were naturally born with it, you can go to a healer. Many healers know how to do it. And it's not really jealous about what types of herbs to use. The herbs are simple. So it allows many healers to initiate people. So even if you inherited it, you can still go to a healer. The healer will initiate you into working with it. So even if you did not inherit it or were not born with it, you just want it, you can still go to a healer. They will help you to make a deal with it. But you need to follow the rules that comes with it. Because there are rules, but you need to understand this. Understand this. There are no human sacrifices. There are no human sacrifices. There are no human sacrifices. I say it 3 times so that you can hear and understand. The sacrifices that you make, it's animals. It's either it wants you to sacrifice a goat, or sacrifice a sheep, or sacrifice a cow. Every year, once a year. This is one of the rules. This is the number 1 rule. You need to make this sacrifice every year. You don't skip. You don't forget about it. So every year, according to your agreement, if you agreed that you will sacrifice a goat, then it's going to be a goat. If you agreed on a sheep, it's going to be a sheep. If you agreed on a cow, it's going to be a cow that you sacrifice to eat every year. Usually, the sacrifice is done near the water bodies, near the river or near the waterfalls or near the water bodies. Unless if you can have another arrangement that you can make the sacrifice at your home or in another place. But usually the sacrifice happens in a river. So if you don't follow the rules, it will leave you. It will go and leave you alone. And when it goes, it takes everything that it came with. So that will be the wealth it gave you, the protection it gave you, the spiritual powers it gave you. So it will take everything away with it. And you will fall from high to bottom. So that's why if you see many people, their wealth quickly disappears all of a sudden. Like within a blink of an eye, the wealth is all gone. Some people is because they had a deal with this spirit and they were not able to follow the rules. So another rule, more especially for women, you find that if you are a woman, it doesn't want you to get married and it doesn't want you to have children. So before you make a deal with it, you need to also understand this, that it will want you all for itself if you are a woman. Even on men, it does not really want people to get married, but men can still get married, but not to a person that was really chosen for them, maybe by their ancestors. They can marry someone, so you can have an agreement with it that as a man you can get married. But in most cases, it also doesn't want men to get married. But for women, it's very strict. Maybe when you negotiate with it, you can reach an agreement that you can get married and have kids. But usually this is one of the rules. And then there are certain diets, some food that you must not eat, more especially what we call seafood. You see, it does not want you to eat seafood. And then if you are a man, it usually wants you to shave your head. Yes, you must always shave your head, unless if in your discussion you agreed that you must not shave your head. But if you did not agree about it, it wants you to always shave your head. So other rules will depend on how you talk when you are making the deal and how you agree about it. See, so that is how it goes. But the bad side of making a deal with it, if you were not born with it, is that if you stop following the rules and you stop making the sacrifice that you are supposed to do every year, it will leave you and it will take everything with it. It does not usually harm you or do bad things, but if it gets very angry, you never know what it can do. Maybe it can harm you or someone from your family, or you can even die. But in most cases, if it's not happy, you are not following the rules, you are not making the sacrifices, it just leaves you alone. But the suffering that you were trying to run away when you went to make a deal with it, it will start to follow you because it will take everything with it. And you will be on your own going forward. So many people will ask, like, how do you know that you have it, whether you were born with it or you inherited it? Yeah, so like other water spirits, they do communicate in dreams. You can dream of storms, you can dream of tornadoes, you can dream of snakes in water, you can dream of waterfalls. Yeah, and you may actually find yourself loving the strong weather, like the tornadoes, the cyclones, the storms. You see, you may find yourself loving this. But it's not really a guarantee that you have Inkanyamba when you see these dreams, or you love water, or you love this kind of weather. It's not really a guarantee that you have it. Because even other water spirits, they do use the same signs when they come in your dreams. So you may find that you are dreaming about this, but you don't have Inkanyamba. You have Zuzu or you have Ndao. So water spirits do use all these signs. All of them, they do use these signs. So until it is confirmed that you have Inkanyamba spirit, you were born with it or you inherited it, you cannot really be sure about it until it is confirmed. So the good part about it, if you were born with it or inherited it, is that it is not that difficult to initiate it. So you won't struggle to be initiated into it. Many healers around, they know how to deal with it. What did we miss? What did we miss? I think I have shared enough with you guys. We have talked about its physical form. We have talked about its spiritual form. We talked about how you can get it. We talked about the initiation. We talked about making a deal with it. I think we have covered enough, guys. So that is so. Okay, another thing is, in the olden days, people were really prohibited to talk about it. The elders will tell you that you do not talk about it because the reason is when you talk about it, it actually hears. So it thinks that you are calling it. You see? That is why they say, don't talk about it, don't mention its name. So now here we are talking about it just to educate you guys, to clear the confusion that you might have. You know, this subject, this kind of topics really cause a confusion for many people. So this is a powerful spirit. If you have it and you start working with it, if you're initiated into it, you are not going to struggle in life. You will be well taken care of. Yeah, in terms of wealth, in terms of protection, in terms of power. And witchcraft don't really work on you. People can try to bewitch you when you have this spirit. They can try to bewitch you, but they are not going to win, actually. They can try their best, but they are not going to win you. They won't triumph over you. You are well protected if you have this spirit. And in case you want revenge on the people who do witchcraft on you or the people who do bad things on you, if you want to return those bad things to them, it returns in a very bad manner that the person will really feel it. They will really suffer. It will really hit hard. Sometimes they can even die because when this spirit sends back the spells that were done on you, it sends it with real force, with real power, that when it hits, the person can actually die or can actually very suffer a lot. See? And anyone who tries to do harm on you, whether you know it or you don't know it, anyone who sends you negative energies, sends you jinx, sends you bad spells, you see, at the end, these things, they will return back to that person on their own. Even if you did not do anything, they will return back to that person on their own, and they are going to hit hard on that person. So if someone is doing anything bad on you and you have this spirit, they are actually doing bad on themselves. You see, they just don't know that they are hating themselves. They are doing everything bad to themselves because finally those things will come back to deal with them. They go back to where they came from. Okay, guys, I think I have shared enough with you. Thank you very much. Keep watching so that you can see the other information that we share with you. Thank you very much.